Hi there, I'm Dr. Dan Farnsworth. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician. I'm passionate about medicine, and so here at the Mini Med School, we like to have important guests for important topics. So we are so excited to have Dedra Meero, Imperial Officer, as well as Darth Vader here with us. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So would you mind sharing how you became interested in this topic?
Well, I was at a work meeting and I gave one of my coworkers a friendly neck hug. On top of his throat, there was this butterfly structure and I didn't know what it was, and Google said it might be a thyroid. And then I read about hypothyroidism, and then it hit me like, oh wow, he probably fainted from hypothyroidism.
The one you gave the neck hug to?
Yes.
Okay, so first let's talk about some anatomy and physiology.
Right.
The trachea, as shown here, is part of what we use to breathe and is surrounded by these little bits of cartilage to help keep things open. You can feel them on yourself.
Oh yeah.
A little bit below the thyroid notch, or what we sometimes refer to as the Adam's apple, is where the thyroid is, and it has two lobes. Well, it makes T4 and T3.
What is that, some kind of droid?
No, those are hormones that go out in the body and help with things such as growth, metabolism, heat regulation, all sorts of things.
Yeah, so what happens if you have low thyroid?
Some symptoms of hypothyroidism can include fatigue, weakness, cold intolerance.
Yeah, no offense, but like everybody feels tired, weak, and cold.
Great question. So part of the brain called the anterior pituitary releases a hormone called TSH, or thyroid stimulating hormone.
Okay.
This acts on the thyroid to release T3 and T4. We check TSH levels as a screening test, and if they're elevated, then we'll check to see T3 and T4. Well, T3 is actually made from T4, and so we typically give a preparation of thyroid called levothyroxine.
I think my mom took something else.
So there are also preparations of T4 and T3 that are made using ground up of cow or pig thyroid glands. These are not regulated by the FDA, and these make me a little nervous. However, some patients feel really strongly about them, and I work with them.
Why not just take T3?
Another good question. So T3 is the active form of thyroid. However, it does have a shorter half-life, whereas T4 will gradually get transitioned to T3. Some people do take small amounts of T3 and can see some improvement. So we've talked about clinical hypothyroidism, where your TSH is high and your T4 is low. However, there is what we call subclinical hypothyroidism, where your TSH is high and your T4 and T3 are normal. Subclinical hypothyroidism is one of those things that we tend to overtest and overtreat. If your TSH is really high, like 15 to 20, then having T4B prescribed can be recommended. So to summarize, hypothyroidism is very common, and we screen with TSH for patients who have symptoms that might be suggestive. So the most common causes for hypothyroidism are Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune, radiation, and surgical removal of the thyroid.
See, it's not on the list.
But it's certainly plausible that neck hugs could create certain issues.
Neck hugs are fine.